Alright, welcome back to another WonderCat channel video. Today we are going to try something different. I want to go through the deck building process with you all. This is going to be a little unscripted, a whole lot of unscripted actually. But basically, I thought I'd go through the deck building process, kind of explain where my thought process is at when I am deck building, kind of things that I look out for when deck building, because obviously when we are building for the Pauper format, our card choices and how we can deck build is much more limited compared to the whole, hey, well, we definitely need to include trainings and memory boosts, and we need this super specific secret rare that was printed, an X set, because that's what makes the deck work now. I have a deck in mind. I was toying with the idea of Undead a little while ago. I didn't get a set list, but there's a couple of cards I really want to work around, so I thought I would try and record this and see what we could come up with. So, one of the cards that I really wanted to work with is going to be our Psychemon from EX10. He was something I was very hyped for. So he's a 4-cost rookie, 1k, 1 to digivolve, unless you're digivolving on a card with save in text. And it's a starter main phase. By trashing one card with save in its text from your hand, you get to draw one, then suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's pretty good. On deletion save, you may place this card under one of your tamers, and has a piercing inherited. So if we think about a true undead list, having piercing or just having like green in an undead list is going to be very, very unique, very different. But I really wanted to play around with Psychemon, right? So let's just say we're going to add Psychemon in. Something else that I also really wanted to toy with, because save decks can kind of cross over with undead, is this guy. Yeah, man, we love Troopmon. Troopmon is cool, right? Specifically because of this variant, the BT5 variant, just digicost of 2, and on deletion, you may play a Troopmon from your hand without paying its memory cost. So you're essentially getting a level 4 out for free when any of your Troopmons attack. So, or when any of them die, I should say. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to add in 4 of those as a potential level 4 inclusion, and we have a BT10 variant of Troopmon. So, opponent's turn, when an opponent plays a Digimon or Tamer, by trashing one of this Digimon's Digivolution cards, gain a memory. Very cool. So the fact that we can gain memory at essentially instant speed is pretty wild. On deletion, save again. And an inherited opponent's turn, when a card is trashed from Digivolution cards by an effect, when this card is trashed, by an effect, gain a memory. So again, just gaining memory during your opponent's turn. Very, very cool effect. These cards also have the undead typing. I have to... You can't really... Here we go. Undead Bagra Army. You can't really see it on these for some reason. And that should just be undead. Undead. Okay. So, this is kind of like when I'm deck building, I kind of just look at cards that I really like the look of, and I go like, can I do something with this? Right? So, all right, we have a Psychemon. Let's look at our eggs. Like, is there an egg? So if we write save, because the deck build is incredibly great with certain keywords and stuff, but we want to do Digi-Egg. We've only got 2 options. We've got Monimon and Kozenimon. So, Monimon is, if this Digimon has save in its text, draw 1 on deletion. That's not a bad choice. And we have Kozenimon, which is when you play a Digimon with save in its text, draw 1. So, we are just recently built a deck with the Sumemon that has a very similar effect when you play a Digimon with the CS or Identify trait. Draw 1, and I said it was a very, very strong effect just because of the amount of on-play, play Digimon that we have. But, if we're looking at this, we could Digivolve for free on this, and because the majority of our undead stuff will be purple. Moneymon definitely looks like the go-to egg here. So just for the sake of things, we're going to throw Moneymon into this slot. We may look at Kozenimon later on. So what we can do, we can hold our save up here. We want to change this back around to Digimon, click on level 3, and see what pops up in our level 3 slots. We have Chikurimon on play. By deleting this Digimon, reveal top 5 cards, add a card with the Bagra Army trait. We don't really care about Bagra Army. We've got Gumdramon goodies, which is quite good as well, especially this Gumdramon. By trashing a card with save in its text or the hero trait, draw 2. We have the old Psychemon on play, returning a Digimon card with save in text under one of your tamers. So obviously, if we go super hard on the save kind of sub-theme, we will need to think about this. But we're not going to worry too much about save right now. We want to look at Undead. So we have the new Dracmon, and this new Dracmon I actually think is going to be one of the bigger parts of this list, just because of the fact that it allows us to trash our like level 5s, level 6s early, whatever, just to give us that extra memory. And because Dark Animals and Undead definitely care about having things in trash to work around with, it just seems like an auto-include. Also, the fact that it is one of the very few CS trait rookies that we have currently that have a digicost of 0, just on its color. It's not a digicost of 1 or 0 on CS trait. It's just straight 0/0. So this is a really cool inclusion. So we're going to bump him up to 4 for the sake of things for now. What other Dracmons do we have? We have on play, reveal top 3, add among them a card with Undead or Dark Animal to the hand, and trash one such card among them. That's pretty good. And we have the promo one, which we cannot use. So let me just have a quick look at this one. It is an uncommon from BT9. When attacking this Digimon, may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Undead or Dark Animal in its traits from your trash for its Digivolution cost. So definitely, so the one thing I don't necessarily like about these two particular, like this is the same thing as well, essentially. They're both pretty much the same inherited. The one thing I don't like about this particular inherited is that it's only really online with your level 4 and 5, right? If you're swinging with a level 4, you can digivolve into level 5. If you're swinging with level 5, you can digivolve into a level 6. But it does almost nothing while you're at level 6. And that kind of annoys me. But let's have a look at what Dark Animal level 3 stuff we have. Ooh. Alright, so we've got Labramon. On play, by trashing one card in hand, you may return one Digimon card with the Dark Animal or Shaman trait from trash to hand. And during your turn, once per turn, when an effect plays one of your Digimon, gain a memory. It's not bad. And Lugamon from BT14 is a super rare, so we can't play that. What we can do, which I will just double check because if we want to go down to Dark Animal here. There we go. Okay. So, Fascomon from ST14. I know it's all in foil, but I'm not sure what rarity it is. It's common. So, it's a blocker. Your turn. This Digimon can't attack players. It is a generic no type inherited. Probably not something we want to play. Get rid of this one. We have the new Fascomon, which is a promo. We can't play this. We have BT13's Fascomon, which is a Dark Animal. 3 play cost, 0 digi, on deletion, draw 1, then trash 1. Not bad. Oh no, what is Psychemon doing in the bag? What's he doing? What are you doing, bro? And end of opponent's turn, once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1. That's a pretty cool card. So let's say we want to throw Fascomon in as our last level 4. Level 3. So we've got a full lineup of level 3s right now, okay? So we've got 4 Troopmon, and our 4 Drac, 4 Fasco, 4 Psyche. So we've got our level 3 lineup done. We've got mostly our level 4 lineup. And what we're going to do is, I think, something that is got to be pretty much an auto-include here is Sangloop for sure, right? For the new Sangloop. So this one, inherited effect, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon with the Undead or Dark Animal in its traits. The new Sangloop is just straight up better. So it's a play cost of 4 versus a play cost of 5. The old Sang Loop does have 5k DP compared to this 4k. Uh, Probably not super relevant in Pauper. Like play cost might be relevant, but I don't think the extra 1k DP is going to matter too much here. But the fact that this new Sang Loop can by itself on attack swing and digivolve into something with the undead trait in trash, very very strong. So let's say we want to throw two of those in. So we have our 10 level 4s. Now, moving on to our level 5s. 5 with the Dark Animal trait. Well, technically we want Undead, but we'll have a look through our Dark Animals just to see what we have access to. Cerberus Mon, BT16. When digivolving or on play, you may return Digimon with the Dark Animal or Shaman trait from Trash to Hand. Not super great. And once per turn, when an effect plays one of your Digimon gains Rush. This is definitely meant to go with Anubismon. Like, this is something we might be able to look at, but because we aren't playing too many CS trait cards, and we want to benefit off this potential interaction, we definitely want level 5 Undead. So let's go. Whoop. Come down here. Find Undead. We have a lot of level 5 Undead stuff. Oh, a lot of shenanigans. We did have the new Skull Satamon, which I am super excited for, actually. Let's have a look and see how he runs in this. So, Skull Satamon, he is an 8 cost 3 digi when digivolving or on deletion. If your opponent has 10 or fewer cards in their trash the top 3 cards of both players' decks. Then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower. If your opponent has 10 or more cards in trash, add 2 to this effect level maximum. Really cool. So, when digivolving, we can delete a level 5, as long as their trash is pretty filled up, or delete a level 3. And it triggers on deletion as well. So, even if we can't build him up to a level 6 straight up, he can still put in some work. That's not bad. He also has blocker, which means that even if we can't get him to level 6, we keep him at level 5, use him to defend with, and we block with. Inherited when attacking once per turn, this Digimon gains Sec +1 for the turn. Checks an additional security card. If your opponent has 10 or fewer cards in their trash, instead trash the top 2 cards of both decks. Right, so if we get into him fairly early and we get up to a level 6 before trashes are filled, he's just going to be doing us some milling. But once trashes are starting to fill up, he becomes a Sec +1 in purple, which is pretty cool. Also consider the fact that we do, of course, have Psychemon with piercing. So being able to swing into something, or even over something with piercing and getting 2 checks in, that's quite strong. So let's just throw 4 of him in just for the sake of things. What other level 5s do we have? Originally I was looking at Oboromon because, dude, does this card just not look awesome? Why is it doing it like this? Like any other time of... Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's just see if we can... There we go. Look at that. How sick. It's like, yeah, man. Like, I don't know. It just is so cool. On play and when digivolving, delete 1 level 4 or lower red, green, purple, or white Digimon. Then delete 1 blue, yellow, or black or white Tamer with a play cost of 3 less. So this card is so sick. The fact that it deletes both Digimon and a potential Tamer is crazy. Very crazy. Level 5 Retaliation Inherited. The Inherited's a little meh, to be honest. I'm not a super big fan of this. But I do really like Oboromon. Just from the art alone is pretty sick. Is he worth playing? Probably not. We have... What other cards was I originally looking at? We had the old Matadormon. There's a new Mummymon from EX10 as well, I believe. Yeah, there's this one. Let's have a quick look at him. On play, by trashing 1 card in hand, digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon. On deletion, you may play a Tamer card with Myotismon in text and trash, yada yada yada. Probably not what we're going for right now. Let's have a look at the older Mummymons for a second. We've got a 3 digi. When attacking, you may pay 3 memory to play a Mallow from trash. Then delete this Digimon, not great. And retaliation, on play draw 2, trash 2. On deletion from your trash without. So all these mummies care about Myotis, which means probably not something we're looking at. Skull Belushi from BT10. One of the cool things, obviously, is you can kind of tell what's going to be a rare or higher rarity on this, which means that I can kind of gloss over what I know we can't really use. Let me just pop up the couple that we kind of can, though. That Skull Satyr looks sick, actually. There were quite a few different Skull Satyr ones I didn't realize. Ah, Koki art! Come on, man. This Skull Belushi looks sick. Alright, cool. So when one of your effects trashes this card in your hand, if it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a purple card with the Undead or Dark Animal from trash for its Digivolution cost. Not bad. The fact this could be a potential during your opponent's turn Digivolve is pretty cool. When Digivolving, if Digivolving from the trash, this Digimon gains on deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon until the end of your opponent's turn. That's a pretty cool card. It's also an X-Antibody card, which I didn't even know this card existed, to be honest. Very cool card. We have the old Matador. Oh, that's the rare. That's the new one. Sorry, my apologies. It's... This one's the old one. I want to look at. Alright, so we have the other Skull Belushi, which is X-Antibody. I knew this one was X-Antibody. On play, when Digivolving by trashing your top security, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower, gain 1 memory. On deletion, recover 1. When your security stacks is removed from, this Digimon may unsuspend. This card feels a lot more yellow inspired to me, and personally, I don't think this is actually going to be relevant or useful in the kind of build that we're going for. So I'm not interested in this. Another Skull Satamon. So on play, when Digivolving, trash the top 2 cards of both players' decks, and your turn, when a card in your opponent's deck is trashed, gain a memory. So I'm gonna leave this up for a minute because you could feel like this might be a decent card. Sadly, no inherited. But I do want to go over some. I do want to go over this shortly. We also have this is why I haven't seen it. It's a starter deck Skull Satyr. Okay, when Digivolving, you may return a purple Digimon card from trash to hand. That's not going to do it. And we have a BT8. When Digivolving, trash the top 2 cards and return 1 card with the Demon Lord and its traits from trash to hand. When a card's trashed from your deck, gain a memory. That'd kind of be okay, but like, yeah, not great. Alright, cool. And we have the old Matador. So when attacking, you may trash 1 card with Undead or Dark Animal and its traits in your hand to have this Digimon get plus 3k. So a 10k level 5 is not bad. The fact that it's enabling itself, or it's enabling like what the deck wants to do, trashing cards and whatever. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card from the trash, reduce the Digicost by 1. So this feels pretty good as well, especially if we have I am looking at this. Instantly makes me think of good old Alice. I think we did use... Excuse me? Where's... Alice. There we go. Okay, cool. When one of your Digimon would Digivolve from level 5 to level 6, you may delete one of your Digimon to reduce the Digivolution cost by 3. So... we can essentially Digivolve this into a level 6 for free from like something as a 4 cost for free if we delete one of our smaller little guys. Which isn't bad. Now, we can also look at this particular interaction and go, alright, well, do we have any cool on deletion effects? Dracmon, not really. Fescomon, on deletion, draw 1 then trash 1. It's not bad. Psychemon, not really. Sangloop, no. Troopmon on deletion, when it dies, play a Troopmon for free. Hey, so what happens? We can have a Troopmon on board, swing with our Matadormon, have a way to have him Digivolve into trash, then sacking our regular Troopmon and bringing out a new Troopmon for free, and getting a free Digivolution off, drawing extra cards. Not bad at all. So, let's get rid of that. We're going to throw 4 Alice in just for the sake of things. We're probably not going to run 4 by any means. But, Matador. We're going to throw 4 of those in as well. Alright, so what I wanted to go over with this Skullsatamon is the fact that we need to look at like payoffs, and you know, we just kind of went over this particular interaction with Alice, right? I do actually kind of like this card, trashing top 2. Like, milling in formats like Pauper is going to be much better because it's very hard for certain decks to just get around the fact you don't have much of a deck to work with. If you lose all of your win cons, you don't have super strong cards to like bounce back. So the fact that if you were able to run enough of these cards, it can be very hard for most decks just to kind of recover or establish a good board. When a card is in your opponent's deck as trash, gain 1 memory. So you could think of this as a Digivolve for 2 because you're trashing 2 and then gaining, or paying 2, trashing 2, gaining back the 1. 2 cost Digivolution into a level 5 is okay, but I don't think it warrants having no inherited on our level 5. Let's go over to our level 5s for a minute. So we have our Matador and our Skullseater. That is 8 copies. We've got a 12, 10, 8 lineup, which is already pretty good. That's something we like that. And so now, if we just want to quickly go over our Matador, so he cares specifically about just digivolving into a Digimon card in trash. He doesn't specify what type of card it is. So we can look at purple, level 6, Digimon. Of course, we always have the option of playing Anubismon. He may be our support level 6 here because he is a pretty good option. We have... let me just see. We'll do Undead here. So we've got 3 options here, and probably the one that I'm most interested in playing with is Pharomon. So we'll just whack him in here for a second. What does he do? So he's a Digicost of 4. Hey, look at this. We've got Alice and a Matador to reduce the cost. Pharomon, delete a level 4 or lower Digimon on play, or when digivolving. And your turn, once per turn, when an effect deletes another Digimon, you may play a level 5 or lower Digimon with the animal, dark animal or undead trait from your trash without paying the cost. That is so cool. Now, if we go back to our Sangaloop, when attacking, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the undead or dark animal trait in trash. So, I do believe, however, he is a wizard, which is not ideal. It is not super great. Do we have anything else that can help facilitate this digivolution? We have one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the undead or dark animal trait in the trash. Pharomon is really putting us down. I don't know what rarity this is. This is a rare. Never seen this card before in my life. BT9. You may play a purple level 3, and if attack, you may digivolve one of your Digimon. Yeah. Old Grand Dracmon. Okay. Gonna get rid of that one. Okay. So, Undead and Dark Animal. For level 6. Unfortunately, we don't have much of an option here, do we? So, let's just go back to our level 6s in purple for a second. And we're gonna have to cut quite a few of these out, aren't we? Look at all the options we got, guys. Okay. Wow. Alright. Man, I kind of wish we could set this up and like filter through rarities. That would make rarity. Oh, where's the rarity filter? Alright, so something that stands out. Like I said, Anubis is probably going to be in auto include. I'll throw him in just for the sake of things. Because I'm pretty sure he's just a shaman. Yeah, just a shaman type, which is not super great for us. We do have Belphemon Sleep Mode, which is a new common. It's a demon Lord, 7 great demon lords. But it's a very strong card. Just opponent's turn once per turn when any of your opponent's Digimon suspend by trashing 2 cards in hand, suspend 2 of their Digimon or Tamers. Very gross, very gross. And it digivolves for relatively cheap. Like, it's pretty good. What else do we have? We have. Hmm. Gulmon is pretty old. We'll have a look at him, I guess. Um. Old Junomon, I don't think that's a great card, but we'll have a quick look at it. It's crazy to think I've done so much deck building and just looking at cards over the past like 9ish months, so I kind of already know the rarities of like everything. It's it's kind of funny. I'll have a look at old Mamukus one. I'm pretty sure this is the wizard as well, which is unfortunate. We have the Skull Mammoth. I'm not sure why the Skull Mammoths aren't popping up. Pretty sure those are undead. The new Taxamons are rare. It's unfortunate. We do have Zanbamon. Again, I'm pretty sure he's a wizard. What are these level 6s doing, man? And the Titamons. The Titamons would be sick as well, but unfortunately we can't play those. We can play this Titamon. I'll have a quick look at that shortly. Alright, so we've looked at this one. We've got Ghoulmon, Demon Lord, Digivolving for every 10 cards in trash. Trash the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. When attacking, if your opponent has 10 or more cards in trash, this Digimon gains +1 security. So this is actually kind of funny because this works incredibly well with our... where are we? Skull Satamon. So this Digimon gains +1 for the turn if your opponent has 10 or fewer, instead trash 2. So as long as they have 10 or more security in trash, this thing's swinging for 3 checks. It is a Demon Lord. That's pretty gross. But again, a digicost of 3. That's not bad. All right, we'll leave Gulmon there for a minute. Started at Junomon. I am also usually a bit hesitant to use starter deck cards just because they're going to be a lot harder for people to source. You know, the idea of Pauper is meant to be that it's meant to be easy to access, fun, cheap to build. This card might only be worth 10 cents, but if I say, hey, we want to play a playset of it, and I can't find any of these anywhere, and people can't find them, how are we meant to build it, right? Digicost of 3 on purple or yellow. Retaliation when digivolving trash top 3, then return a Digimon for trash your hand. Not it. Nidhoggmon, definitely a purple level 6 when you trash this card from hand, gain a memory. And when digivolving trash 1 card in hand to delete level 4 or lower. Just a really good generic purple top end piece, to be honest. We have the old Mamukusmon. Retaliation, on deletion, if you have 10 or more cards in trash, you may play an Ornusmon from trash without paying its memory cost. So that's kind of cool, actually. Again, Demon Lord. We have Ragulmon, the big old kitty cat. That is a rare, unfortunately. And we have ST16 Undead Skull Mammoth. When digivolving, draw 1 and trash 1. When one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, you may play a level 4 or lower purple Digimon card from trash without paying the cost. So that's a very cool card. So this can also help enable a lot of our combos, especially if we want to run cards that do a lot of trashing, like the likes of our Psychemon and our Dracmon. Skull. We'll definitely look at Skull Mammoth here. He might just be like the best in slot, to be honest. Especially because, again, he is undead. It means that we can digivolve very easily with our Sangaloop or our Dracmon Inherited. EX8 Undead. When digivolving, play an NSO trade Digimon card with a play cost. Again, unfortunately, we don't have NSOs in this list. Do we want to rebuild it so that we can? On deletion, recover 1. I do think just the ST16 one is just overall better. It's got a higher DP. The digicost is 4, but we can kind of play around that, like we've already seen with the Alice McCoy and our Matadormon in when attacking, or just during your turn. So probably not this Skull Mammoth. Zambar, a wizard. When any of your Digimon digivolve, reduce the cost by 1 for each color in your opponent's trash. That's like, I kind of like this card just as like a kind of grindy control piece, because it could essentially be a free level 6 digi if you're playing into very wide colored decks. For every 2 colors in your opponent's trash, this Digimon gains Sec plus 1 and 2k. Like, imagine they're playing 3-4 colors, you know? They get 4 colors, this goes up to Sec plus 2, and then you could have the Skull Satamon, which gives it another one as well. This thing could be swinging for 4 checks on 1 attack, just because your opponent is playing like a multicolored deck. Very fun card. I love the idea of playing with this card. I just don't think I think it's heavily too matchup dependent, and again, it's a wizard, probably not great. And we have our Titamon, which I have previously used. It is a Shaman type card. Piercing, when digivolving, trash up to 3 cards in hand. If you do for 1, each card trash, suspend 1. Then for each suspended card your opponent has in play, or each suspended Digimon, gain a memory. This card, absolutely insane in the Flame deck. This card I've seen this card win matchups in the Flame deck single-handedly, because you want to pitch multiple cards. You suspend their entire board, so you can get rid of blockers, you can pierce through because it has piercing, gain back the memory that you spent essentially on digivolving it, and then with all the cards that you've pierced, assuming that you can't win, you can't like swing for game off of this play, your entire trash is just lined up so that you can play Boltmon, the assembly Boltmon, for like nothing, which is great. It is such a cool combo. Honestly, looking at, really don't want to have to add a starter deck card in this. The Ghoulmon's also really kind of cool though. Nidhoggmon, very generic, but so I'm kind of like looking between these three. Again, of course, like I said, we do have the Anubismon, we have the Pharomon. Basically, it has to be like, if we want our Inheriteds to get their max value, we have to play Skull. Then what do we want our support level 6s to be? We could play like 1 Anubis, 1 Pharaoh. If we like that, like, I mean, like, Anubis is strong by itself. When digivolving, play a level 3 card from trash for free. When you play Digimon from trash, gains Rush. Very strong effect. And we get, like, Pharaoh's just on delete. On play, when digivolving, delete something. And when something deletes, you get to play something bigger, but it doesn't have Rush. But a level 5 or lower is pretty good. Like, we can play our Skull Satamon off of this. Like, delete their level 4, play a Skull Satamon from trash for free. Like, that's so cool. Let's not play the Pharaoh. I think the Pharaoh, double Pharaoh, seems really sick. So, I don't. Is that? Yep. this bloody name, man. All right, cool. So, and we want the Skull Mammoth, which may just be an unfortunate inclusion. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's play 4 of those. So that's looking okay. We've got 40 out of 50 cards. Alice McCoy. Do we want to play 4 of them? Probably not. But we're gonna have to go into our options and whatnot, and let's okay. So Miss Memory Boost, definitely probably the best in slot here for purple. I'm gonna go 3 copies here, and then 1 copy of, I think it's Glaive Memory Boost. So Miss Memory is trash 2 from your deck, then draw 1. Glaive is just going to be return a purple Digimon from trash to hand, and then obviously delayed, gain 2. 4 memory boosts, kind of whatever. Like, we can do 2 and 1 if necessary, but I do really like just including 1 Glaive usually, just to get back that 1 piece that we need, because this deck is doing a lot of trashing, not a lot of recursion. Alright, so something that we do definitely need to look at though is our purple save tamers. Because we have access to Alice, and we have these two Riomas, because we can't play Tuggaroos. We do have these two Riomas, and we do have a couple of cards of care specifically about whatever these are doing. So you've got a set of main. If you have two or less memory, set it to 3. When any of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with save in text, by suspending this tamer, placing a Digimon with save in its text from under your tamers. From under your tamers as that Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, that Digimon gains alliance for the turn, which is pretty cool. And security placed into security, just security effect placed into play. Old one, set of main. If this tamer has 2 or fewer cards under it, place a Digimon with save in its text from your trash under this tamer. So if we have our Psychemon or our Troopmon, I don't believe so. BT5 Troopmon doesn't actually have save in text, which is a little unfortunate. By suspending this, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with save in text, by suspending this tamer, placing one card under one of your tamers as the bottom Digivolution, reduce the cost by 1. Are either of these worth playing? Realistically, probably not. Now, we have to look at, and this is something that's very important here now, because we've gotten to the point where we have the majority of our deck built, right? We're at 44 out of 60 cards. Let's just get rid of this save for a sec. We'll just look at if there's any other potential purple tamers that we do want to play. There's not actually all that many, which is unfortunate. We do have access to K, which is a great new inclusion, actually. Start of main by trashing a card with Undead, Dark Animal, or CS, gain a memory, and end of turn by deleting this tamer. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 5 or lower Digimon with the Undead or Dark Animal in trait in trash without paying the cost. So that's a pretty cool inclusion. The fact that he's a memory... sorry. He's not a memory setter, but he does enable all our other trashing effects and such. So let's drop Alice down to 3. We'll put K to 3 as well. What else do we have? I think we definitely need to include the Jack Raid, because no purple deck is complete without Jack Raid, right? Jack Raid 1 copy because it's limited. And, oh gosh, why can't I think of the card's name? Play cost 1 purple. Where are you? Calling from the Darkness, 1 cost. Delete one of your Digimon, then return up to 2 purple Digimons from trash to hand. Probably not going to use it all that much, to be honest, but it's still a really good utility purple card. Let's go back to purple tamers real quick. Why is this not? Because play cost. That would definitely help. Alright, so we have the BT18 Violet. By trashing an option card or 1 card with a Ghost or 3 Musketeers, draw 1. Do we want to throw away our options? Probably not realistically. She is a memory setter. We have the Mako, reveal top 3, add a purple or yellow Digimon card among them to the hand. And then when you play a 2-color purple and yellow Digimon, suspend the same to gain a memory. Now, probably not going to get the memory gain, but if we think of this as just a 3 cost on play reveal top 3, add a purple and trash. So if this is pay 3, draw 1, trash 2, that's not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, the majority of our deck is mono purple, so we will just never actually trigger this at all unless we end up wanting to play the other Skull Mammoth. We could play this as a spicy one-off just to help filter. Might be okay. And 7 tamers is not a bad spot to be in. And we'll just quickly go over our options real quick as well. Just think if I have any spicy inclusions that I'm not thinking of. Because there are a couple, there's Demonic Disaster, delete something, unsuspend something. All those kinds of things. What could we be looking at here? There we go. Okay. So we have lots of promos. Tarnished Hero. Pummel Whack is always pretty funny. Rivals Barrage is unfortunately another starter deck card I don't really want to add if I don't have to. Delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower by deleting one of your Digimon. Delete an opponent's level 6. And security, you may play a Gilmon from trash. We are not playing Gilmon, so unfortunately Megiddo Flame is not super great here. Evil Squall seems wild. When you would play this card, if you have a purple tamer in play, reduce the cost by 1. Delete 3 of your opponent's unsuspended level 5 or lower Digimon. Unsuspended level 5 or lower. The problem with this is if it is hidden security, which is, activate this card's main effect, if they've already swung with their big thing and it hasn't been able to unsuspend itself, we just don't get to kill it. What on earth? One of your Digimon gets 3k security effect, gain 2 memory. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny, actually. Is that just not... Yeah, that's just Jack Raid's security effect. How greedy am I? That is... How's that? So let's have a look at our DP. I could bump up our rookies into like being able to swing and might being able to live. We can swing with our Lootmon. Give it a buff. I mean, it digivolves into one of these. Might protect our Skull Satamon and Matadormon from crashing. I mean, I'm kind of talking myself into it. It's not a bad idea. It's pretty good. And I like the idea of having a second... Just gain 2 memory when your opponent hits you with security. That's pretty funny. Do we have anything else that's really kind of standing out to me, though? Not really. Like, maybe Demonic Disaster, but, like... I don't think this deck is going to go particularly wide. Like, it's just kind of like swing, digi. Yeah, screw it. Well, I always want to include like a spicy one or two of. So, all right. I'm liking the look of this list, okay? So what we're going to do here is basically I want to look primarily at the egg now that we have kind of finalized this list. We've looked at it. We don't have any save tamers. We have Fascomon, we have Psychemon and BC10 Troopmon. Essentially the only 2 cards in the deck that care about saves specifically, right? So I basically have to say to myself is paying 1 here worth having piercing in the deck, or is paying 1 here worth his effect here? He's not super great, right? These Troopmons though, I think are very, very fun. They're still very, very fun. Do I want to cut this Psychemon? I really don't. Let's have a quick look at our purple options for eggs. Digi-Egg, purple. We have a couple of very, very big possible options here. A lot of... purple decks have kind of pick of the litter, to be honest. When your opponent's deck is trash from, draw 1. I'm not doing too much of that. When attacking, trash a card, give it plus 1k. When attacking, trash 1. On deletion, if deleted other than by in battle, return a level 3 purple Digimon back to hand. I was going to say, I haven't even seen this card. It's another starter deck. If you have a yellow Digimon in play, draw 1. If you do, trash 1. I love that Nyaromon. That's very cute. Alright. Don't think we're going to play any of the Yarmons. When an effect plays one of your Digimon, draw 1. Or you have 10 or more cards in trash, this Digimon gains retaliation. Probably not bad. We're going to be trashing a lot in this deck, so Xiaomon's not bad. If you have 6 or fewer cards in hand, draw 1. That's not bad either. When you trash something, draw 1. When an effect trashes, plus 1k. When a card is trashed from Digivolution's cards by an effect, draw 1. So I actually kind of think the Xiaomon's not too bad. Just gaining retaliation for, filling up your trash is it's pretty good. Makes out a level 3. It's like much scarier. Being able to push out a level 3, swinging into something that like something big that your opponent has tapped with. So let's get rid of Moneymon. We're gonna play with Xiaomon, and I'm gonna cut Psychemon down to, let's say 2, because I still really want to play the card. And by trashing one card with save and text from hand, draw one, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. We're not going to have that many save cards in the deck. Opponent's turn, when an opponent plays a Digimon attained by trashing one of their Digimon's Digivolution cards, gain a memory. So this card, its on-board effect is still live. It's still live. So it's still actually not that bad. So if we can find a decent Digimon in the Undead, might have to play this Dracmon here. Two of those. I really like the look of this list, actually. So we have quite a bit of memory manipulation in our options. We have 2 security threats. Sorry. That's going to gain us memory as well. We have Alice sacking things to reduce memory costs. We have K, which is going to delete a Digimon, reduce Digivolution costs and stuff too. Mako is going to trash some bits and pieces for us as well. Yeah, not bad. I mean, like, again, Pharamon being able to play out Skull Satans, Skull Mammoth allowing us to play out any level 4 or lower, so Pharaoh higher ceiling, but not as good because we can't Digivolve into it off our Sangloop or off our Dracmon inheritance. But this looks fun. This looks cool. I love the fact that we're going to be able to abuse deleting our these level 4 Troopmons to play out another one, so we're not really losing a body and we still benefit off deleting things. They're both undead, so we can trigger, we can trash 1 or 2 of them off of this one, off your Dracmon here. Yeah, not bad. All right, cool. So I think that's about it. What we're going to do, we're going to save it here as Undead Pauper. Whoop. Psychemon can be the cover card, just for the sake of things. We're going to, this is private, and we'll just do Undead and submit. All right, that is a very quick, I mean, it is almost an hour long, so it's not like super quick, but this is kind of, this is how I do it. This is how I deck build. So what I'll do is I'll end up building this in person, and I'm going to run a few games with it. Or I'll go, hey, what card is not performing? I'll go like, hey, every time I've hit Mako, I'm not sure if the adding that she's doing is worth it, or once she's played, she just sits there. Or I go like, hey, the 4 memory boosts are a little unnecessary. But I mean, we have missed memory, both, I mean, this trashes, this trashes, this trashes, this technically trashes. We're gonna have such a big grave filled with just everything that Skull Satamon's +1 security is always going to be online. We're going to have so many targets for our Skull Mammothmon, and Pharamon's going to be able to play out pretty much anything in our deck. So, yeah, and again, like I said, the egg is actually, it's not going to be online too early, but the fact that we have all of this trashing means that having retaliation on pretty much all of our stacks does make them a lot scarier. I mean, our opponent already doesn't want to have us refill our grave, but being able to swing aggressively with our little guys is a nice little kind of cherry on top. But yeah, well, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'm not sure how much or how well this video is going to do, but I'd love to, hear what you guys think, if it's something that you want to see more of. And yeah, just a nice kind of behind the scenes on how I do my deck building and kind of the thought process. But yeah, if you could think of this also as a much longer deck profile. But I could definitely end up changing this around a little bit, and I'll probably or I'll put a comment down in the comments of this video if I ever end up rearranging the deck list to anything else. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this for an hour's worth of work. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ta.